there, everyone. How's it going? I can't believe it's September. I don't know when this happened. I'm just, my mind boggled. Anyway, and for those of you who may be in the area that got hit somewhere with a dahlia, I hope everybody's okay. Obviously, if you aren't, you wouldn't be watching this, but I hope the people you know in a state as safe and possible as they possibly can. And I just feel so sorry for everybody who got caught into that because was humongously bad. But I wish you the best anyway. Okay, today I've got a quote from Jim Rohn, who was a motivational speaker. He wrote several books, and some of you may have seen some of his quotes. I actually was a little surprised that he was actually dead because I keep seeing the quote so often. I was thinking he was still alive, but I checked it just a little while ago and he's not. Died more than 10 years ago, as a matter of fact. But this is a quote of his that I think is very, very true, but most of us really, really wish it were. And we don't like it for that reason. But let me give it to you. If you really want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Now, some of you are going to say, well, I can't do this. I can't do that. It's like, well, yeah, but he'll notice what he said. If you want to do something, you will find a way. So if there's something that you're trying to do that well, short of, again, I go back to the idea of you can't do anything that changed the laws of physics. You can't go back to being, as I said before, I can't go back to being 20 again, no matter what I do. But then again, I don't think I want to be 20 again, which sort of offsets that, but that's beside the point. But if we really want something, we will go out and do it. If you think about it, when you were an adolescent, younger, maybe even late 20s, maybe even within the last 6 months, when you've got something in mind that you really want to do, you will do it. At some point in your life, somebody told you you couldn't do anything. You said, oh, yeah? And then proceeded to dig your heels in and just went ahead and did it anyway, just simply so you could tell other people that you went ahead and did it, even though they didn't think you could do it. Is this not true? Now, you may not have done it in 30 years, but at some point in your life, you probably did that. Most of us have done that at some point in time, usually when we're relatively young. Our parents tell us we can't do something, in some cases it can be disastrous, like you can't fly off the roof and the kid tries to jump, and discovers that you can't fly off the roof. But at least they got the idea that they were going to do something that they wanted to do, and they went ahead and did it. We do this or don't do this, as the case may be, because when we want to do something, I want to become a millionaire, I want to get a better job, I want to have a better car, I want to divorce my spouse, I want to get married, I want to have a significant relationship, whatever, and you don't do it, it's things you're coming up with are things that are going to say, oh, I can't do it because. I challenge you to think in terms of the fact that maybe for whatever reason, you don't believe you can do it, you're not willing to try it, or you're not willing to put yourself out, or you're not willing to sit and think about the things that you need to do to actually accomplish it. For example, I can't lose weight. Is it that you can't lose weight, or do you don't want to give up the foods that you like eating in order to do so? I can't stop smoking. I can't stop drinking. Is it that you can't do it? In other words, it's physically impossible for you to do so, or that you just don't want to do the things that need to be done to accomplish that particular goal? We'll stick on eating. A lot of people will say that they want to lose weight because they don't want to give up whatever, or they're afraid they're going to have to give something up for the rest of their lives or some such thing like that. You can't eat sugar or whatever. There's something in AA that goes along with the idea of don't worry about saying I can't drink again forever for the rest of my life. What they say is don't think about it that way. Think in terms of what can you do for the next 5 minutes? What can you do for the next 10 minutes? And if you start thinking in terms that I can do something for the next 5 minutes, I can do something for the next 10, going back to weight. So maybe if you want to say that I can't have sugar or I can't eat whatever, some particular form, I don't know, some kind of starch or some such thing like that, look at it more from the standpoint of, for this next meal, I'm not going to. I can do this for one meal. And that's it. Now, when you get to the next meal, think in terms of that particular meal. Instead of thinking in terms of I can never do this again as long as I live, which tends to be a little intimidating as well as sort of somewhat demoralizing and depressing, if you just think in terms that you can't do something, or you will not choose, you will choose not to, let's start that one again, you will choose not to do something for one particular segment of time, like a meal or the next 5 minutes or whatever. If you say something like, I can't move up in my workplace, or I can't get a better job, what is it that you need to do that you're not willing to do that would get you where you want to go? Because the odds are, if we were able to be face to face and I talked to you long enough, I would be willing to bet that you would have to admit that there's something that you could probably do that you don't want to do, or that you're scared of doing, or that you don't think you can do. And so you're not even going to bother to try. So all you're going to do is sit there and basically say, I can't do this. So that goes on to saying that you don't have the faith enough in yourself to be able to do it. Or maybe it is that you just don't want to take the effort and you're just using that as an excuse, goes back to the line of Jim Rohn's comment, for being able to tell other people that you can't do it. Remember, the last line of it is, if you don't, in other words, if you don't do what you want to do, you're going to find an excuse, and you're going to find some reason to say, well, I can't do it because. That's a cop-out, essentially. Come up with something that's, again, within the reason of physics. I can't live forever. That's not going to be something that you're going to be able to do, that kind of thing. But something that along the line on basic, normal, everyday circumstances that you want to do, and find out why you can't do it. Why are you keeping yourself from doing that? Whether it being studying, whether it being getting a significant other, whether it being anything. For example, if you are infertile and you want to have a child, you will find a way, go talk to a doctor, find some way, shape, or form to figure out how to do that. There is going to be a way to do something if you're able to search long enough and hard enough, and you're willing to do it. Now, yes, I could probably think of a few things that you couldn't, but they're generally going to be somewhat out of extreme, and I would be asking people, why do you want to do that in the first place? If it's only because I want to be able to do it so I can say I could do it, is that going to be a valid enough reason to try it and to do all sorts of things? It's up to you. Does this make sense? If you stop to think about it, when you say I can't do something, isn't it more of an I won't do something, or I don't want to do something? Because you're thinking in terms of all the things that you have to do, or that you should do, or that you've been told to do to order to accomplish that particular task. What if maybe you didn't have to do it, but you could still accomplish those things anyway? So maybe if they tell you that, you have to change your diet, yeah, you might have to change the diet to lose weight, but is it necessarily that you have to change the diet in a way that other people tell you have to? Could you find a way around that so that you could still have some of the things you enjoy and yet still manage to lose weight and be healthy? So I'd challenge you to figure out those particular options and to take a look at the things that you say, I can't do this, and figure out whether it's an I won't. And if it is an I won't, why not? And what can you do to fix it? I hope that makes sense. I hope maybe some of you get really upset and start thinking about this, upset with me because you're saying, I can't do this. But if you really think about it, pretend that you're having a conversation with me, or an argument with me, or a debate, depending on how you want to look at it. Do you think I could come down and zero in on you and talk to you and figure out why you don't want to do that? Think about it. If this was helpful, and I hope it was, please let me know. Hopefully, maybe you'll know somebody that you could also share it with, and see that maybe they've got somebody, like a teenager, perhaps, could be. And let me know what you think about it, and just give me some feedback, and I would really seriously appreciate it. So we'll chat with you later, and you have a good week, and bye.